jump back over to the application and put this one in here. Okay. Here, if I'm using the API key, I do not need the OAuth client ID. I just need the API key. Okay, so we can leave that one empty, and that should be okay. All the rest are the same, and I'm going to save this. Okay. Now, the important thing here is that, which I learned yesterday after a few hours of testing, is that let me try to explain that better. If we go into the coreBOS settings now, I should have my API key here. Okay, and there's no OAuth information at all. It's all empty. And what happens now is that here on this page here, I have my the queue manager working. Okay, it's listening here. I have include cvmqtm run php. That is a daemon process that right now I have in foreground, not in background, but it's listening. And that's the process that's reading the queue, processing the message, and launching the processes around as the messages come in. Okay, now what happens is that this daemon, this process that is running, I started it, and it had to access the coreBOS settings table. Okay, it read the information from that table with the OAuth and all the information that it had, and it started processing the messages with that information. Okay, now every time it wakes up, every 4 or 5 seconds, it wakes up and starts reading the messages and launching the process again. And those processes and that queue goes back to the coreBOS settings class and asks again for the information. What happens is that information is in cache. Okay, the coreBOS settings class, as many other classes in coreBOS, try to cache information in the memory so that they don't have to go to the database when they're asked for it. That is generally very good, because in a web application like coreBOS, where you do a whole bunch of things, and then you die and disappear totally until the next request. Okay, there's no memory at all, and there's no link between one process or one call, one request to the web server and the next. They're totally independent, and that everything gets all regged up every time. That cache is really nice because we can put it in memory and use it and avoid access to the database. But with this process that we're talking about now, it's a long-running process which barely never dies. It just stays there forever, working constantly. Okay, so what happens is that when it reads the class, when it goes to the database and gets the information and puts it in the cache, it's going to be there forever. Every time it calls the coreBOS settings class again, coreBOS class is going to give it the information it has in the cache. So the changes I just did in the database, this process doesn't even know they have been done, and it will never know. Well, almost never know. Okay, so in general, that isn't really that bad, because you don't really change this information that much. I mean, once you set up the link and you do the OAuth and you do everything, I mean, that information just stays that way for almost forever. I mean, you don't really change it that much. And the run PHP daemon has an in-native process where or clock where every 10 hours it resets itself. Okay, I haven't actually tried that when waited 10 hours, but I do suppose that means that it will kind of just like shut everything down and start all over again, without us having to restart the process, and probably during that process the cache will be refreshed. Okay, so in general I don't think it's that bad, but I do understand that especially in testing, I mean, you have to there's no other way right now than for me to shut it down. I think you can send it a message, a kill signal from the Unix command line also, but just shut it down. I have to restart it again. The important thing is that you know that this can happen at the moment, and we'll see if we can get to it, because there are some other things pending on the daemon side. Okay, so I'm going to cut this, Control C, and I'm going to launch it again. And now what should happen is that I should be able to sync this information again exactly as I did before Let's see what's in the queue. Probably have 2 poll messages here. That is something I'll have to check into also, because since I saved twice, I get when the save process puts the message on the queue, and it doesn't look if there's already one there. I'll get to that. I have that written down here somewhere. I'm going to delete one just to make sure that we don't get some conflict there. And I'm going to try to sync this back over to HubSpot, which is quicker. Okay, I'm going to put 555. Save this, jump over to the database, see what happens. Okay, I have my change data here. Okay, I got an error. Okay, which is nice in the sense that we see what happens with the error message. Okay, which is what I was talking to you about, what I was saying a little while ago. If we edit this record, I should be able to see the exact information here. It says that my API key does not have proper permissions, require any of contacts, read, or relations. Okay. I don't know exactly what that means. Contact, read. Okay. Anyway, it did see it's probably a configuration option that I'm missing here somewhere. User ID. Okay, I'd have to look into the API key exactly what needs to be done there to get that refreshed. Anyway, the OAuth is the way to go anyway. So, and I mean, this was working at one point, so it did help. I mean, I did all the development with the API key, and this was just a test. Okay, so I'm not really going to go into exactly why. The thing is that it did read the API key, it did connect with HubSpot, it did try to to update the information, but my configuration settings weren't all right. Okay, so now I'm gonna do this again, and now I'm going to have to do the process very similar to before, but I'm going to do it with the OAuth authentication. Okay, so let's go over here to my API, my developer account. I'm going to pick up my client ID and come over here to the application, put the OAuth client ID here, get rid of this one, and copy this one over. This is my client secret. Put this one over here, and we're going to save this again. I'm going to jump over here to the database on the message queue. We'll get rid of both messages. And here we go. Okay, I'm going to save this one. Okay. Now if we come over here to the database again, I should be able to see that I have my polling message here, and in my settings I have now the OAuth client and the OAuth secret, and I'm missing obviously the OAuth, the access token and the refresh token and the update time. Okay, I'm going to cut this one again. I'm going to the daemon so it reads the new settings. Okay, and I'm going to go over here. Now that I have my client ID and my API key, I'm going to come over here to the link, this link up here, and that will send me to HubSpot so that I can authenticate my OAuth permissions. Okay, this sends me here. Okay, my address, and the password is this one. Okay, we'll log in. It will see that I'm trying to authenticate. Okay, OAuth, get rid of that. With my coreBOS application, it sees I have 2 HubSpot accounts because I created 2, and the one I'm working with is the 3068977, so I'm going to hit this one. Oh, why HTTPS integration. Why did that happen? Integration authorization. The scope is contacts, and this looks correct. Yeah, this is all right. We should. I could look at the message log. Let's see if there's a message in here. I don't think so. I don't think I have that debugging activated. Okay, let's try that again because okay, this looks correct. The auth client enabled, save. Okay, this one. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Yesterday when I did the authentication, and this morning when I did the refresh token, that all worked correctly. And this is what happened to me yesterday. Okay, I went in. I had a whole bunch of problems the first time because I'm working on localhost. The HubSpot integration only accepts HTTPS. I had HTTP because I was working on localhost. It doesn't accept localhost on HTTP. Well, it doesn't accept any URL if it's not HTTPS. So I had to configure the HTTPS on my local host and stuff, and I had a bunch. And once I had all the basically HTTPS thing fixed, it just went right here into this page here. I did get the red message here once where I couldn't get the refresh token correctly, the access token correctly. Excuse me. And so I mean, you do get error messages here also if something doesn't go right. But basically, I did this 2 or 3 times yesterday, and it was just working. Okay, and now it just worked also. So I'm not actually sure why that message appeared. Okay. In any case, if it does happen to you, let me know. Especially if you can find an easy way of repeating it and doing that, so we can fix it. Okay, so now I should have my authentication set up. Let's go over here to the database and go back into the settings. Now I should have an access token, and I should have an refresh token and a HubSpot update time. Okay, perfect. That means that my HubSpot is connected, my OAuth is authorized, and I'm going to get rid of one of these, the older one, 48. It's 47. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this one. Don't know why there's 2 there. I'll have to check that. And okay, so now we should be able to sync again. 5555. Let me come over here and let's see what we have here for Lena. Refresh this one. Here I have 222 at the moment. Okay, 222 here and 555 here. Okay, now what's going to happen is that I think what should happen now is that this poll should launch. Okay, let's see what time that's going to launch. This poll should launch at 1548. It's 1548 right now, so we're talking about seconds here. So let's wait. I suppose that it should see, well, maybe not, because the thing is that I changed the 555 here in coreBOS. So that change should be detected here and sent to HubSpot. HubSpot, what we do is check to see if there has been any changes since the last poll. And obviously the 222 there hasn't changed. Okay, I mean, the change has been, the 555 has changed here in coreBOS and not there. And we lost the change because the API key didn't work. Okay, so I suppose that if I refresh this page, we'll get a new deliver time. Okay, I got a new deliver time, but my record here will be unchanged. Okay, that's what I expected. Okay, I mean, that sounds correct. Let's change it again and put 777. Now I should, oh, it's probably already done. I probably won't even see the message here anymore. Yeah, it's probably already put the message, processed it, and sent it and everything. I mean, it's 4 seconds. I mean, it's really quick. Let's jump over here to HubSpot and refresh this one and see if this 222 has changed. Okay, perfect. Okay, 777. And I guess, I mean, it's going to work back and just like before. Okay, so I could change it here and it will go over there. And more or less that's the big picture. The last thing I would like to explain just before I finish the video is that the fields that are being synchronized here are all saved in business maps. So you have full control over what is sent in one direction or the other. Okay. Here I'm doing contacts. So here I have a map which is contacts to HubSpot. Another one which is accounts to HubSpot. Let's make that a little bigger. Contacts to HubSpot, accounts to HubSpot, and then we have HubSpot to potentials, contacts, and accounts. Okay, so let's jump into contacts to HubSpot, which is the one I've been doing all this time. The other one should work the same. And here we see that I have a field mapping, the business map. And it says here that the original module is contacts. The target name is HubSpot, which doesn't exist as a module in HubSpot, but this is a special mapping which is searched for exactly with this name. Okay, the contacts to HubSpot, and then it expects the mapping. Okay, in this case, first name of the contact here is going to be the first name of the contact there. The last name here is going to be the last name there. The email here is there. Phone and phone. Okay, real simple. This one has really no magic at all. It's just what it is. But you could put any fields, custom fields or anything. You could even obviously create custom fields in HubSpot and sync those also. I mean, that's going to work, all of it. Here I have the accounts. And this one is basically the same. Nothing really special here either. Accounts to HubSpot. Name and account name. Okay, so the name in HubSpot is the account name here in coreBOS. And the same way in the description field, I'm going to put the email one of the account plus the phone. Very interesting. Okay, here in this section here, we're seeing that the description field in HubSpot is going to get the concatenation of the email one and the phone separated by a dash from coreBOS. Okay, and then the phone is the phone. Okay, so these mappings basically follow the rules of any business mapping. Okay, you can do almost anything you like here, in the sense that you can control, you can do the concatenation. You could even do operations if you needed to. They should all work. This is the potentials. The potential name here is the deal name there. Okay, and so you have full control over the mapping and what you need to do. I think there's a custom field here in the HubSpot contacts probably. The system test prop, there it is. I remember doing that one. The assistant phone is a test prop, which is a property, a custom field that I created in HubSpot just for this purpose, just to make sure that I could synchronize custom fields in HubSpot. Okay, that works also. I mean, in general, it's just the mapping. Okay, I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about. There are a few things that I still need to polish. Once you give it a try and you test it and make sure everything's working, and we get any quirks or bugs that may have come up, I would like to present this to HubSpot and get it featured on their page. So we'll test it, make sure it's working. I'll get the daemon working in daemon mode if. Yeah, I mean, it does give an error right now. And then here in the documentation I sent was, yeah, the leads potentials, the mappings, and that's about it. That's about all I need to talk about. Here I explain also the fields, which I commented before. Here I have some more, the message queue, some error messages are logged there. Subscriptions that it's in the CRM are sent to HubSpot. HubSpot setting information are saved here. Okay, one of the tests I did. Okay, so I have a total control opponent via message queue. We could create. Okay, okay. Now basically all the information that I sent with the PDF I just explained here on the video, and hopefully that will be enough to get you started and get back to me with any issues that you may find. Let me know how it goes.